which is my segue to talk about Battlefield 2042, which went from a game I was like, curious about to being like full blown, extremely pumped for. Kat, you are considerably more experienced in Battlefield than me. Let's talk about Battlefield Portal.
Battlefield Portal looks amazing. So it's bringing together maps from Battlefield 1942, Battlefield Bad Company 2, Battlefield 3, not Battlefield 4, unfortunately. That one still has some good maps and is kind of quite beloved as well. And I think that I'm just really excited to see these classic maps, and they're giving the community a lot of control over the customizability, which is a really smart move, I think, by Ripple Effect. Ripple Effect themselves have an excellent track record going back to Battlefield 4 when they were DICE LA. They created the community test server and things like that. They created a couple of the expansion packs, so they really know the game extremely well, and I think that it is in super good hands. I cannot wait to see some of the maps that they put out, including a White Pass from Bad Company 2. Please put that one in there, because that one is so atmospheric and so gorgeous with the snow and everything.
Now, it seems like this is what we're getting at launch. I have a feeling they're going to continue to support this and drop in plenty more maps. But to be clear, this isn't a map editor or like a level editor. This is like a mode editor, basically, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's exactly what it is. You can have large numbers of, say, World War II German soldiers fighting specialists from Battlefield 2042. You can tweak all of the rules and the guns that are available. They're really giving people a ton of kind of control over how the game plays out. And I think that will go over extremely well with the community. I'm honestly stoked to play this game, not the least because Battlefield Bad Company 2 was my favorite game in this series. So I'm so happy to be revisiting it in my own weird way. And also I'm really excited to have like all kinds of crazy stuff, just trying to take out one giant tank or whatever. And I hope they bring the penguins in. Bring the penguins in.
This looks like so much fun. Stella, you're big into shooters. You're very much sort of our Apex expert, which we'll get to in a second. But what was your read on Battlefield 2042?
I think this is huge. Like, not only is this appealing to the fan base, but this is also extending the invite to a lot of other casual players, because you can customize what kind of matches you can have. So say for, like, I get really overwhelmed with really big matches like this, so you can adjust that and make it smaller. And I think that's really cool that they are giving the community access to all of this just included with the game. So I think that's really big for the game. I think they're bringing in new players this way, and I don't know, when they said that this is a love letter to their fans, they weren't kidding.
Yeah, I think they've realized that there's a lot of Battlefield nostalgia out there, especially for Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3. And so I think it's really smart of them to lean into that and kind of move on from what was kind of a fraught period for the series with Battlefield 5. So with this new mode, I think they really seem to be a lot more tapped into the community than they have been in recent entries.
Yeah, I think just showing the Bad Company grenade won me over immediately, because just that subtle nod. I mean, just for me, I'm thinking of like what Ubisoft has been doing with the Splinter Cell franchise and just sort of going in what I would consider the wrong direction, versus this, where they're just like, hey, we've heard you. We're bringing back all these classic maps. We're going to allow you to create these cool modes. I was already excited. Now I'm even more excited because you have all of these things sort of making a comeback, and you get to play them again in all their new visual glory. Yeah, like the wingsuit and the grapple hook already sold me. This is just like icing on the cake.
Well, it's such a cool option, because I mean, we've seen some of the best multiplayer games ever have started out as, you know, mods made by players using an existing game as kind of the basis. I mean, that's what, like, you know, Counter-Strike was. That's what Dota started out as, like people, you know, tinkering with what was there in front of them. And this is presenting that in a way that's not like, you know, you don't have to be coding, you have to be, you know, getting in the guts of it. Like, this is kind of opening up the tool set to players to really play around and create their own custom rules. And I feel like we're going to see some really interesting stuff coming out of it. We've already seen, you know, the Battlefield community gets very creative. Like, we've seen the wacky stunts that people pull off, and just people get really invested in this, and it's going to be awesome to see kind of the creative side of that. And it's also it'll buy us some time until DICE can add in new stuff on their end. We're presumably going to get more maps and DLC down the road, but like this will definitely keep things interesting while they're cooking away at that, because gotta stay busy.
I adore that they took the time to render this scene, by the way.
Right? This is they're
having way too much fun with this. And
yeah,
I think the highlights, it kind of reminds me of The Final Countdown, this 80s movie with where an aircraft carrier goes back in time to World War II. So I want to see Twitch highlights of a Spitfire in a dogfight with an F-18 or an F-22. It'll be great.
No, I mean it's surrealist science fiction at this point. It's very cool. And also, I've always wanted to see Nazis versus defibrillators. I think that's a very interesting approach there.